and welcome into week 8 of the Banged Up Podcast. Leezy here with the IDP show, and it's a great weekend for football. We've got Kelly Stafford and Blueface chirping at each other in the LA Rams Stadium. We've got Travis Kelce averaging over 100 yards with T-Swizzle in attendance versus under 50 without. And the return of Jalen Ramsey is imminent. So without further ado, let's jump into the goodies. First up on IR on offense, Zach Ertz, tight end for the Arizona Cardinals. He picked up a strained quadricep during last week's 20-10 loss at Seattle. He'll be out at least the next 4 games. And a couple of IR updates on defense. We'll start off with Yetur Gross-Matos, a name that I haven't said all year. He's the edge rusher for the Carolina Panthers, and he was placed on injured reserve on Tuesday with a hamstring injury. Uchenna Nwosu, Seattle Seahawks edge rusher, had a torn pec. He's going to be placed on IR. He'll need surgery to repair that, and the recovery timeline is going to be 6 to 8 months. Nick Bolton, Kansas City Chiefs linebacker, looking to miss the next 2 months after he dislocated his wrist. And lastly, Jeremy Chinn, Carolina Panthers safety, had a quad strain. Unclear what grade it is, but bad enough to be placed on IR. He'll be out at least the next 4 weeks. Checking out who's out on offense, quarterback Justin Fields, still dealing with that dislocated thumb. We talked a bit about this last week. He's likely to miss multiple weeks. Damage wasn't severe enough to need surgery, but it, takes time to get that swelling and pain down, although it doesn't really matter when you have Trevor Lawrence. Deshaun Watson, quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, $230 million down the drain as he's dealing with a shoulder bruise. Obviously, it's much more than that, but he'll continue to sit out until that pain subsides enough to where he can throw. Daniel Jones, Giants quarterback. Dabble was non-committal on Jones playing again this season, which means I'm committal to dropping him in any leagues if you haven't already. Ryan Tannehill, quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. It is mayonnaise season over there. Zay Jones, Jaguars wide receiver, is going to miss this week. He didn't practice it all week, so potential to miss multiple with the knee injury that continues to plague him. And lastly on offense, Deebo Samuel, wide receiver for the Niners, dealing with a shoulder injury. It's not good when your star wide receiver was spotted, quote, running off to the side during practice. So it sounds like he's still some time away after he hasn't practiced at all this week. The only ruled out player so far on defense, safety for the Panthers, Von Bell, with the quad strain. He's going to continue to miss time dealing with that quad strain as he still hasn't practiced all week. The only doubtful heading into this week, both on offense and defense, is quarterback Kyler Murray. He's moving closer to playing, but he's not quite there yet. Even when he does come back, I'm going to give him a game or two to settle in and see how he does. Let's head into our questionable designations for this week. We'll start on offense, quarterback Trevor Lawrence for the Jags. He played through his knee injury on a short week last week and played well. I don't see much changing after the extended rest this week. He should be good to go. Brock Purdy for the San Francisco 49ers, making his way through the concussion protocol, did get in a full practice on Friday. He's going to try to clear that protocol ahead of Sunday, but again, check the reports, make sure he does actually clear it, because there is a low probability for players clearing concussion protocol the week after this year. Browns running back Jerome Ford, dealing with an ankle injury. So he had what appeared to be a mild high ankle sprain last week, and hardly ever do we see players return back from injury that next week. I doubt he plays, and if he does, I would strongly avoid, as there is going to be a huge dip in productivity and touches there. David Montgomery is still a few weeks away after dealing with a rib injury. He didn't practice at all this week, still likely a couple more weeks from being back out there. Colts running back Zack Moss, dealing with the elbow-heel combo. He got in a limited session in the middle of the week and then was downgraded to not practicing to finish that out. So it's not a good look for him. I'm going to avoid Zack Moss if he's active. There's nothing to suggest that he's going to miss at this point, but there is a chance to see a slight drop in touches, but I'm still going to start Mostert regardless. Chargers wide receiver Josh Palmer missed the first 2 practices at the beginning of the week with a knee injury and then got in a limited session on Friday. I'm not confident that he sees the field, and if he does, I'm not going to expect many touches his way, so I'm going to avoid Josh Palmer this week. Seahawk wide receiver Tyler Lockett was a full participant to end the week while he was dealing with the hamstring injury. He should see the field. Older wide receivers dealing with that hammy do have a higher risk of re-injury, but the production should be the same if he sees the field. Commanders wide receiver Curtis Samuel ended the week with a couple limited practices while dealing with a foot injury. Right now, there's nothing to suggest that Samuel's going to miss time, and he's been right in the wide receiver 3 discussions the past few weeks. He should see the field and be serviceable. Packers tight end Luke Musgrave, couple of missed practices after an ankle injury last week. He missed 2 in a row before returning to limited and finishing practices out. I don't think we'll see him out there, but I'm going to avoid Musgrave if he is active. And lastly on offense, Darren Waller, tight end for the Giants, limited sessions all week, but expect the routine Waller out there this week. Over on defense, questionable Odafe Oweh, Ravens edge rusher, picked up an ankle injury in practice practice this week. Had him limited on Thursday and then downgraded to not practicing on Friday. He had a decent week last week, but he's back on the injury report. Always hate a downgrade to not practicing after picking up an injury in practice. I'm going to avoid Odafe Oweh this week if he is active. Panthers edge rusher Brian Burns, same sort of situation as Oweh. However, he picked up an elbow injury, was limited Thursday, but didn't practice on Friday. I don't think Burns is going to go. However, if he does, he's the type of player who makes it hard for you to keep on the bench. Personally, I'm going to sit Burns this week because it gives me the heebie-jeebies. If he's active, I'm not going to fault you for playing him, but me personally, I'm gonna avoid Brian Burns this week. Raiders edge rusher Mad Max Crosby is going to continue to the limited sessions this week and then resume to normal Mad Max behaviors on Monday. Patriots edge rusher Josh Uche dealing with a foot injury, coming off essentially 3 missed weeks, so I'm going to avoid him until he proves he's serviceable. Giants edge rusher Kayvon Thibodeau limited all week, and right now there's nothing to suggest that he misses, so if he's active, I'm going to start Kayvon. Panthers linebacker Frankie Louvu limited all week, but was quoted saying that he is going to play. I like the energy. I don't see any reason why he doesn't while he deals with that hip injury, so fire up Frankie. Packers linebacker Devondre Campbell looking to play in his first game since week 3 due to an ankle injury. I'm going to avoid him if he's active until he gives me a reason not to. Raiders linebacker Divine Diablo has yet to practice all week, and he's the Monday night game, so that's a pretty easy bench while he deals with that ankle injury. The best linebacker in the NFL, Rams linebacker Ernest Jones, same situation as always this week. He's expected to stay limited while he deals with the knee issue, but is continued to ball out on Sunday. Saints linebacker Demario Davis coming off the extra rest after playing through injury last Thursday. I think it's the same situation in stat line for Demario Davis this week as he continues to play through that knee injury. Bears safety Eddie Jackson finished off the week with a full practice while dealing with the foot injury, so shouldn't have any limitations if you want to start him. Bears safety Jaquan Brisker hasn't practiced all week while dealing with an illness. I'm going to bench him. Jaguars safety Andre Cisco limited all week, and right now there's nothing to suggest that he misses while he's dealing with a hamstring injury, so he should be available if you need him. Dolphins safety Javon Holland will look to clear concussion protocol, but had a missed practice this week, so chances are not high. I would look elsewhere at safety for this week. Seahawks safety Jamal Adams locked in a full practice on Friday, so we'll see him on the field without any limitations. And lastly, Raiders Nate Hobbs returned to practice after being out since week 4. I'm going to avoid him until we see what he can do on the field after injury. That's all I've got for you this week. Thank you so much for listening into week 8 of the Banged Up podcast. If you're a podcast guy, give the YouTube channel a shot at the IDP show. Go subscribe over there. You're going to see our beautiful faces. You're going to see Joshy. You're going to see Adam. You're going to see Bobby and everybody else involved with the IDP show and the IDP after show. Great people. Go give their content a view. And if you're a YouTube guy, please come over to the Substack at the IDP show. Go subscribe there. You're going to get wonderful content emailed to you every single day. They are very adamant about that, and they are very good at what they do. We're right in the middle of the season as we gear towards a playoff push. So if you're in the middle, keep going. And if you're ahead, please don't take your foot off the gas. I hope whatever Kelly Stafford and Blueface are going through gets resolved. God bless them and God bless you all. And I'll see you right here next week.